If you're looking for a super easy way to beat Grandmaster Glassway in approximately 15 to 20 minutes per run, then you came to the right place. First things first, let's start with the loadout you want to bring into this strike. If we look at the modifiers for the strike, we see that we have Void and Solar Surges, we have Overload and Barrier Champions, and we have a brand new modifier called Overcharged Weapons, where kinetic weapons will do increased damage, specifically 25% bonus damage, when your super element matches an active surge. So for this strike, if we have a Solar Super or a Void Super, our kinetic weapon will deal 25% bonus damage. And that's very, very important because the number one thing that all three of your fire team members want to bring is Outbreak Perfected. It doesn't matter too much what perk you have crafted on here. I have Rewind rounds, but you could totally get by with something like Rapid Hit. Doesn't really matter all that much. This thing is an absolute menace for this strike. Frankly, any strike with Barrier Champions because of the Anti-Barrier Pulse Rifle mod, but specifically for Glassway, because with anti-barrier weapons, you can not only shoot through barrier shields, but any shield in Destiny, including stuff like Hydra shields. So in the boss fight, where you have literally two Hydras, you have a boss Hydra and a mini boss Hydra, this thing can literally pretend like the shields don't exist. You'll see how quickly it absolutely decimates them, makes these runs super simple. The other core thing that you need to bring, only one person on your fire team needs to have this. You can probably justify two people having it. Three might be a little overkill, but at least one person wants to bring a disorienting grenade launcher, bonus points if it has auto loading holster. This makes it borderline impossible to die in the boss room, specifically when it comes to the mini boss Hydra that likes to walk into your room, and specifically when it comes to the wyverns. You'll see specifically why that is once we get into the strategy, but at least one person rocking and rolling with this. Anyone else can run some. My teammates, for example, are running stuff like, I think, one-handed indebted kindness. You can get by perfectly fine on that, especially if it has volt shot, will be really nice for the strike because you can stun the overload champions with it. I think another one of my teammates brought overload hand cannon. Just as, that fashion's brutal. Wow. Just as an insurance policy. Let me get a comment down below. It says nice fashion, Jamie. But at least one person disorienting grenade launcher, right? And the heavy slot doesn't really matter too much. I just recommend something that you can use to burst down stunned overload champions. So typically you're going to want to go something that's either void or solar to align with the surge, and I would say either a grenade launcher or a rocket launcher. So I think Edge Transit is spectacular for this. If you want to go something like Apex Predator, I think that can be amazing as well. Other than that, the only thing that you really need to worry about with your build is abilities that can stun overload champions. And with Prismatic, that is super easy. So if you're rocking and rolling with Hunter, you have stuff like Withering Blade will stun them. Dustfield Grenade will stun them. Winter's Shroud will stun them. If you're going on something like Warlock, then you have Bleak Watcher will stun them very easily. You have Cold Snap Grenades or actually, I don't think Cold Snap Grenades stun them because they freeze. They don't slow. Maybe it'll work. I don't know. But Bleak Watcher is spectacular for stunning them. If you're on Titan, you have some less options. You can go Shiver Strike, you can go Glacier Grenade, but anything that can stun overload champions. And subsequently, for your exotic armor piece, if you can get anything with Spirit of Inmost Light, I would consider that a win. This doesn't matter too much. This really is dealer's choice. I personally would recommend something that gives you maximum ability uptime, like Inmost Light, so that you have as maximum uptime on your abilities that can stun overload champions. As far as the rest of the build goes, really doesn't matter that much. I'm going Stylish Executioner. I have Dawn, Protection, Perp. I don't even need Ruin. I'm not going to bother changing it out, though, because it doesn't matter. You really don't need to be that optimized. That's how easy Outbreak Perfected and a Disorienting Grenade Launcher make this Grandmaster Nightfall. The only thing that really does matter is make sure you're on a Solar or a Void Super so that it aligns with the Surge, so that your kinetic weapon or Outbreak in this situation gets 25% bonus damage. So if you're on a Hunter, something like Shadow Shot is spectacular in my opinion. If you're rocking and rolling with Warlock, you could go Song of Flame or Nova Bomb Cataclysm. I like Song of Flame a little bit better personally because you get like 95% damage resistance when you're in it. So it's a nice panic pop super if like both of your teammates go down and you need some damage resistance while you try to res them. If you're on Titan, maybe something like Twilight Arsenal could be spectacular. Either Void or Solar, one of those. Other than that, I'll show you the mods as well. I have a arc resistance and a void resistance. I have a scavenger matching my heavy weapon. I've got kinetic loader and siphon for my Outbreak Perfected. Other than that, doesn't really matter too much. You can take screenshots of this if you want to, copy it over. Just use what I'm using. As long as you have the Outbreak Perfected and a Disorienting Grenade Launcher and abilities to slow overloads, it's really that simple. Now, loading into the strike, you'll see my power level is 2009 from Fire Team Power. You can get up to 2020. for Grandmaster Nightfall. So currently, while you're watching this guide, we're 11 power levels lower than we theoretically could be for maximum effectiveness and efficiency in this Grandmaster Nightfall. So if you're a little behind on the light level game, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Because we're 11 power levels down, and you'll see that we still absolutely like one-shot everything. We shred through everything. We get through this thing in like 15 minutes, 17 minutes, something like that. It really is that easy with Outbreak Perfected. So, yeah, we're gonna get started, rocking and rolling here. Probably a good time for me to introduce my teammates that I'm rocking and rolling with this with. Hi, Jamie. Hi, OSB.
Hello.
But yeah. So for this first area, I really like to. I think what we want to do here, we'll bait out the Invis Marauders before we care about the Overload, like the little Invis sword dudes. So I'm gonna walk up here a little bit, and I'm just gonna plink away from a distance at all the Marauders. A lot of them go invisible and like to push at us. Not really gonna care about the Overload too much. Looks like all the Invis guys are down, so now we can focus on the Overload. I'm gonna throw my Dustfield Grenade at him, and just Outbreak literally, like, this gun is absurd. After we kill that guy, we're gonna play close to this like left side rock here. We have some Vandal snipers that are gonna pop up. All the snipers in the strike are gonna deal arc damage. That's why I like having the 1 arc resistance. We're just gonna slowly work our way up. We got a couple more snipers, a couple shanks. Just playing nice and slow. If you want, you could pull out the disorienting grenade launcher and fire a shot over at them to make it so that they stop shooting at you. Up to you. So for this one, let's try and get that Overload champion right away. So Bleak Watcher turret will stun him. We'll just triple Outbreak him. And he is dead. And we have a couple dudes jumping up in front of us. We'll kill everything from this ridge. And then once everything's dead, we can push up a little bit. A bunch of drags will spawn on our left, and then we can burst down the barrier champion. Go ahead and focus it with the outbreaks. Just trying to hide. Push up a little bit and triple outbreak. He's instantly dead. And we're on to the next room. 2 minutes in, by the way. We're already on like the 3rd room of the strike. Like outbreak, it's that crazy. So for this one, let's we're gonna take care of that sniper that spawns right away. Try to at least. I think I left him 1 bullet. If the Overload pushes up to us like he is right now, we can go for him. But he's currently kind of in the back. So let's focus the boss for now. Since the Overload's just chilling in the back, we'll triple outbreak the boss at the current moment. I'm going to back up a little bit just because I'm 1-shot. See if I can flank away at one of the snipers. Yep. And as you can see, triple outbreak just completely 1-shots that guy. Then we still have the Overload up, correct?
Yeah.
So we want to try to avoid pushing up. Let's not push up, because if we push up too far, we'll spawn the barrier servitor. So let's kill the Overload from a distance, and then once he's dead, now we can push up a little bit and bait the rest of the enemies, because obviously we didn't want to spawn the barrier servitor, because we didn't want him to make the Overload champion immune. But yeah, once that Overload is dead, we can definitely push up a little bit more. Absolutely rinse the barrier servitor. Nothing's really too much of a threat. Is that everything dead? Perfect. So for here, I think have you two been staying like on the right side?
Sometimes I jump to the left.
Okay, I don't think it matters too much. You know, you can have all three going. I think at least one person should stay on the right side. I'm gonna go to the left with OSB. JB can stay on the right side. But here we're gonna have a lot of red bar snipers, so we want to focus the red bar snipers first. We don't really care too much about the boss enemy or the Overload. We really want to get all these red bar snipers dead first. Then once all the red bar snipers are dead, I like focusing on the boss enemy because he is also a sniper. I don't really care about the Overload right now. So let's just beam down the boss enemy with our outbreaks. Trying to get a mix of angles on him. Just being a little bit of a pain. We're going to rotate over here to the right so I have an angle on him. Down pretty quickly. I'm 1-shot, so I'm going to back off a little bit. Perfect. And now we can try and burst down the Overload champion. We don't want to push up too far because similar to the previous room, we'll spawn a barrier servitor if we walk up a little too far, so I really want to try and kill him before we walk up. Now that he's dead, now we can walk up and we'll trigger the spawn of the barrier servitor and all that. Probably an okay time for a tether. Everything is being made immune by the barrier servitor though, so I gotta crack the barrier servitor shield. And then we can get that tether share damage. And every single thing will pretty much fall over. And onward we go. Not really a whole lot of strategy necessary for those initial 3 rooms. Honestly, sit in the back of the map, chuck an ability to stun and overload, just beam absolutely everything with your outbreak perfecteds. I mean, this pulse rifle is actually insane for the strike, given the pulse rifle buffs, given I mean, outbreak's always been pretty nice when you have 3 people just team firing something. But yeah, feels really, really solid this season, especially for the strike 2. You'll see once we get in the boss room. Whew. It nukes through the boss's shields and just lasers their health bars. It's actually spectacular. So for this room, the main thing you need to keep an eye on here for this room is this left side over here. Once you progress a little bit into the room, you'll spawn some enemies, some of which are sniper enemies. I think it's 2 snipers that spawn specifically over there. So you want to make sure you're keeping an eye on this angle right here, because you don't want a sniper shooting you at your side or at your back. I then really like taking this position and killing the Overload champion from this lane. So we have a Bleak Watcher on him, so he'll continuously be getting slowed. I don't have to worry about spending any of my abilities. And he is gone just like that. Then we'll sit in the back of here, plink away at anything we see. There's going to be 2 snipers up on that ridge, so we do want to keep that in mind when it comes to our positioning. But we do have 1 more Overload champion. I'll throw my snow globe on him. And we'll triple outbreak, beam him down. It's so satisfying. Couple more enemies that are scurrying around, and then we'll have 2 snipers up here that we need to be careful of. Can go ahead and sling a disorienting grenade launcher shot. Ended up killing him, but even if it didn't, it would have made it so he couldn't shoot at us anymore. So for this part, I think have you two been focusing the right side?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll give 2 examples. So you can brute force this plate if you want to. You can have 2 of your teammates focusing one side, 1 focusing the other, and you just do your best to kill everything as it comes. However, if you're a little slower on the killing, you're not quite as comfortable, you can get overwhelmed rather quickly. So an alternative way you could do this is the enemy spawns are based on your plate capture progress. So what you can do is something like, let's back off right now, guys. Like once you see a lot of enemies are up, especially you'll have Vandal snipers on the left side. That'll spawn once your plate gets to about like 45%. It's totally fine to back off the plate, run back here, and just like play this cover and blink away at everything. Like I fell in the swimming pool and then snipe me from it. And then once everything's dead, you can, and you know you're chilling, you can hop back on the plate and then start capturing it. You can do it bit by bit if you want to. If you're really confident that you can burst down all the enemies really quickly, then you can, you could just try and do it all in one go. I would say if you're a little newer at the strike, don't get super greedy trying to do it all in one go. Because you'll have Vandal snipers on the left side, you'll have Vandal snipers on the right side, and then you'll have Tracer Shanks that'll spawn in the middle. So it's okay to take it bit by bit. Not a big deal. 2 more Tracer Shanks. It's the snipers that really are the big problem there. Once you finish that plate, we'll have an Overload champion that'll spawn down here in the ground. Looks like we have a Bleak Watcher that got thrown at him. He's stunned, so we can go ahead and beam him with the outbreaks. And he's dead. And then we'll just slowly work our way up and work our way through all these enemies. Outbreak has, like, scout rifle tier range, despite being a pulse rifle, so it really does feel incredible for, you can sit super far away and blink away at everything, and you don't really have to be worried about anything. So we have a tankier enemy. I'm going to shoot my disorienting grenade launcher so that enemy literally can't shoot back at us. Literally can't fight back. The only thing you got to be worried about in this area is you'll have some Vandal snipers on the top right and top left. So once you do get about, I'd say halfway pushed through this room, you do want to turn your focus to those Vandal snipers. So let's get these Vandal snipers that are up on the top right and top left. So the right side ones are dead. I've also noticed once you kill some of them, like once you kill 1 or 2 of the Vandal snipers, any remaining Vandal snipers will jump down and like run to the back middle platform, so something to keep in mind. Then we can push up a little bit more. We'll beam this barrier servitor. And we're currently at 9 minutes and 54 seconds, so we're getting to the boss fight in about 10 minutes on the dot. You probably get here a little bit more quickly if, you know, you're not worried about explaining everything you're doing for a YouTube guide video, but, you know, who knows. So we're going to walk in here, kill a couple dregs. We're going to have an overload captain. Burst him down nice and quickly. You'll notice I haven't really used my disorienting grenade launcher or my edge transit this entire fight. This room is where that changes. So we're going to play the entire fight from this left side room, and we're going to try and bait every single enemy to come through this alleyway. All the enemies are going to spawn through these 2 portals, and the name of the game here is actually playing things a little bit slow, specifically when it comes to the mini-boss. Because we have 2 overload champions here, and whenever this mini-boss gets to 50% of its current HP bar, it's going to spawn 2 additional overload champions. So we really want to just try and focus on these 2 overload champions and bursting them down before we even worry about the mini-boss. And this is where the disorienting grenade launcher comes in huge, because I can just, since it's a mini-boss to your enemy, I can just keep shooting the disorienting grenade launcher, and that mini-boss will literally never shoot a single bullet at us. So we can pretty much pretend like it doesn't exist, continuing to tap it, while we burst down the overloads, throw our dust field grenades, throw our slowing abilities, all that jazz. We have 1 more overload, correct? Or did we kill both?
Yeah, no, it's top right.
Top right? Okay. So we'll go ahead and track him down. I'm going to keep shooting disorienting grenades at this guy.
I think he's jumped on mid.
Oh, did he go back to middle? Okay. We can burst him from here. This is probably not the greatest spot to burst down champions, because as you can see, the big boss is making his way around, and, you know, we don't want to get pinched. We're quick enough because the outbreaks do that much damage, but ideally you do want to bait them through this middle lane. And so now that both the overloads are dead, we can just literally team shoot this guy. And since our outbreaks have anti-barrier, literally shoot right through the shield, doesn't matter. So we want to phase him out. As you can see in the bottom left, Vex reinforcements inbound. That means we have 2 additional overload champions. But with that guy bursted down and gone, it is super easy to kill them. Baiting everything through this choke point, use the dust field grenades, use the bleak watcher, use stuff like tether. These guys die super quickly. I'm going to throw another shuriken just to re-up the slow debuff to make sure he's not healing. Bleak watcher is doing that anyway, though. And everything's dead. And then once it's time to deal damage to the boss, I like to come to this, like... I like to come to, like, the spawn of the arena. I like to have 2 people chilling on the left side of the room. I'm going to bait the boss over to come to us. But I really like 2 people chilling on the spawn side, so, like, where OSP is. And then you have at least 1 person that's always going to have an angle on the boss. And then you can kind of head glitch the staircase. And as you can see, you can literally shoot directly through the shield. And then once he's done, we're going to immediately book it back to that hallway that we're trying to bait everything through. So this is wave 2, and we're going to have wyverns on this wave. If you're quick enough, you can team shoot the first wyvern that'll spawn right through that portal and try and insta-kill him. Didn't quite get there, so we're going to back off just a little bit. And this is where the disorienting grenade launcher comes in massive, because the wyverns can be disoriented. So we're just going to keep slinging disorienting grenade launcher shots through this hallway. And the wyverns literally can't fire a bullet. Now, the wyverns will not always come directly through this middle lane. Sometimes they like to make their way around here through the back left hallway. Sometimes they like to come through spawn. So just make sure you always have your head on a swivel. Make sure you're not getting flanked by them or anything. But same idea. Killing both of the wyverns. And then you're bursting down the boss. So let's make sure we're bursting down the boss.
That was 1 more wyvern in mid.
Oh, well, he already spawned bonus wyverns, so... Anyway, it doesn't really matter that much. Disorienting grenade launcher makes it so that the wyverns are a non-issue. Oh, wyvern in our spawn. Wyvern in our spawn. So he did end up picking off one of my teammates, but not that big of a deal because I have the disorienting grenade launcher. So now that I'm aware that the wyvern's right there, shoot the disorienting grenade launcher at him. He literally can't do anything. Can also slow, freeze them, all that good stuff. And they're also finishable at 50% HP, so pretty simple. What'd you die to, Jamie? Did you die to the barrier
Maybe
chance.
it's barrier.
Snipers.
Do we still have one more wyvern up somewhere, I believe? Or did we kill all
No,
of
I
them?
think they might all be dead.
Cool.
It's just barriers.
So let's deal with all 4 barriers through this middle lane. If we all stand here, eventually all of them will just kind of gravitate towards our position. Outbreak will make quick work of them. You do want to make sure that you have an angle on them so that multiple of them can't see you at the same time. So that's why you see me kind of adjusting my position slightly. I'm one shot right here at the moment, so just gonna adjust a little bit. And we have one more. Ah. Save me. There we go. Cool. So with that 4th one down, we'll enter wave 3, which is once again going to be 2 overload champions. This wave is actually one of the easier waves, though, in my opinion, because you don't have to deal with the mini-boss whatsoever. So you can just kind of hang out back here and map everything. You don't have to worry about disorienting anything. Pretty simple. Dustfield grenade, allow everything to come to the choke points. Got the Bleak Watchers. This is what the edge transits are for, by the way, bursting down these overload minotaurs. You'll kind of notice I'm not really using mine all that much, though, because they just die so quickly with Outbreak. I should be using it a little bit, though. And then he's dead. So once both of those overload minotaurs are dead, we'll go ahead and start DPSing the main boss. We'll get him to 50% HP of his current bar, which also just so happens to be 50% of his total HP. That will spawn another 2 overload minotaurs that we'll then have to deal with. Jamie, can you throw a smoke bomb over to me? Uh-oh. I didn't know you were down there. I was okay anyway. But yeah, once again, once we see that Vex reinforcements inbound, 2 more overload minotaurs, we'll return back to this choke point, bait everything in. That guy's lobbing shots at me. Full Dustfield. I think one of them started healing, so we'll start throwing my Withering Blades to reapply slow, make sure they stop healing. And they're both dead just like that. Then we can return to beaming down the main boss. Looks like he's in the back hallway, so I'll have to run around here and bait him out. Perfect. And we'll blast him until he's 1/3 HP. Outbreaks don't really care that the shield is there. Well, more specifically, Anti-Barrier Pulse doesn't care that the shield is there. And he's gone. And now we're in wave 4. It's identical to wave 2. We're going to have 2 wyverns that we want to deal with before we even consider touching the mini-boss enemy. We're going to try and instantly burst down this one in the middle. Or the one that we have an angle on, at least. And we actually ended up... Oh, we didn't quite get him. But that's okay. We're going to play really smart. Remember, we might have a wyvern that's going to be pushing us on our flanks, so we want to be very careful. Make sure we're always taking a peek at that kind of stuff. See this one pushing through right here. Chuck the disorienting grenade launcher. Okay, one's coming through back door. But as you can see, disorienting grenade launcher. It's actually, like, he just doesn't exist. Then we'll flank the disorienting grenade launcher with the mini-boss. And we will full kill him. Right here. We're just going to absolutely eviscerate him. He is going to explode when we kill him, though, so we want to keep our distance. Ta-da. And then we will have 2 more wyverns. I'm going to bait them through this middle door. Disorienting grenade launcher. And they literally can't even fire a single bullet on you. So both of those wyverns are dead. To make sure we get platinum, we're going to kill the remaining 4 barrier hobgoblins. I really want to get this one on the balcony, but he's being very annoying. We can just get this one. Oh, is the balcony one playing nice again? No, he's not.
No, he's TPing everywhere.
Nope, he's being very not cool. Okay, cool. We have a close one. And now they all show up. Go ahead and plop the tethers to kill them a little bit more quickly. There's 1, there's 2. Oh, balcony. Oh, we actually got him. 3. And then this fourth one is down the distance a little bit more. And then we can get back into our boss positions and go ahead and try the main boss. I'll break the day away. Let's pull out the GL. I feel like pretty much haven't shot any GL shots this entire run. And just like that. Nice and simple. So yeah, I think what was our run time? 20 minutes and 5 seconds, 15 to 20 minute runs. If you're not trying to like slow things down to explain them for a YouTube video in certain areas, then it's pretty, like I think once you get going with your team, very easy to get 15-minute runs, 16-minute runs, something like that. And if you're looking for teammates to run this with who have also seen this guide, I'll link my Discord server in the description. There's an LFG channel in there, and I'm sure that there's going to be tons of people in there looking to play who have also seen this guide. You don't have to tell them what to run. You don't have to tell them what to do because they've already seen this just like you. So go ahead and join that, linked in the description. Find teammates to play through there. I'll also be doing carries of this for viewers on my live stream, twitch.tv/Mactics. I'll link that in the description as well. I'm probably live right now at the time that you're watching this video, so just come on, stop by, and hey, maybe we can run one together. Or maybe you just want to watch and you can see me run them if you have additional questions or anything like that. Yeah, just come and stop by. Love to say hi to you. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you did, please consider dropping a like on the video and potentially even subscribing to the channel if you're not already. Hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.